I'm a full-time nomad and I travel around the country in an RV with my husband and two dogs. And I'll meet my clients like that I only know virtual, and I'll get out of the car and they're like, huh? Wait a second. I thought you were taller. And I was like, well, that's
Where's
good.
the rest of you?
I know, like the good I present tall on screen, but so hey guys, it's a pleasure being here. I love your energy. You guys are amazing. And I knew that it couldn't be any different when I met Amber. I can only imagine who she attracts. And you guys hit it out of the park for what I could tell. That I know Amber's magnetic, as you guys know, and I'm new to Amber's world. And you guys obviously have been very dedicated to her world. And I love it. I love group dynamics. A lot of my business is around group masterminds, coaching, stuff like that. But my favorite thing is what you guys just talked about, is the support and the camaraderie and the collaboration, and it's how can we serve each other. So kudos to you guys. So it's an honor to be here with you guys. Absolutely love it. And I will be back, obviously, because I'm going to Cozumel, but I will be back to hang out with you guys more as well. So I like I said, I'm Coach Jackie. I call myself the Freedom Mentor. I've spoke internationally, and I'm an RV adventurist. I love talking about adventure and freedom all day long, any day. And when I talk about freedom, I don't just mean like, people go, do I have to live in an RV to be free? And I'm like, no, it's just one option of living a free life. You get to choose what yours is. If a free life is just being able to do your call from the lake while your kids are playing in the lake, like Amber's doing, that's freedom to me. But freedom really begins with that internal self-love and awareness. But my focus, what I love working with, is those ambitious professionals. Could be business owners, or it could be people in a long-term career where they've really created that success and money already, but they no longer believe in that hustle and grind that I think we all were taught growing up. Like, you got to work really hard and do all this stuff. And I don't believe it's true now because I live it, but aren't quite sure how to get out of that without losing the success they've already built. So when you work with me, they start doing what they're meant to be doing versus what they should be doing. I think we have a lot of a should be life. And I think I'm preaching to the choir in this group, because everybody, what I'm hearing you guys talk about, you're already pursuing like what I'm meant to be doing. And I can feel it when you guys talk about it. And it only expands from there. When we step into what we're meant to be doing, it's like freedom from time, money, location, and all that stuff just gets so much easier to create. Because when we're in the shoulds, we're pushing like that boulder up the hill. It just doesn't feel right. And I come from a 30-year background of the restaurant industry. I got a teaching degree, and after 1 year teaching, I was like, God bless your soul, but I am not for this for the long term. Like, I ran out of the classroom and was like, no. But I knew I wanted to mentor and teach in some capacity, because my very first job was in a little Italian bakery. Yes, I'm a Jersey girl. Little Italian bakery in Jersey, of like a family-owned place, and they gave me the keys at 15. I'm like, oh, you're going to run the night shift. And there was something in me knew that was illegal, but in Jersey, they do a lot of things illegal. So we had the keys, we ran the place. And I knew from that moment, I just loved like leadership and mentorship and coaching. And I didn't know that's what it was called then, right? Fast forward 30 years of doing leadership management in companies like Starbucks and Potbelly and Outback and all these different things. I just loved, like, people like, why do you do something that's like 7 days a week and 70, 80 hours a week? And I was like, because when that person that didn't believe they could do what they did, I held that gift of belief up for them, and they moved up the ladder, and they're running their own restaurants and running like multiple restaurants as district managers. When I get someone through that, I'm like on cloud 9. So I did what I do now, but I did it for 30 years, but didn't realize about this. I call it the magical world of coaching, in my opinion, because when I first heard about it it was 2018. And I was like, what? I can do everything I'm really good at, and I can do it in my own business, on my own time, in my own way. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I jumped right into a schooling for it and stuff. And that was June 2018. And then August 2018, the job that I was with, that I had been like, did you ever have one of those like careers where you're just constantly like battling this, you just knew you didn't fit. It was like the circle in the square peg. And I got fired from that job. And I got to tell you, that was the best day of my life, and the scariest, but the best day of my life. Like all the pressure kind of like came out of my shoulders. I remember crying for like a second. And then I got in the car to do my DC, to like my 2-hour commute out of DC home. That was enjoyable, let me tell you. I will never go back to Northern Virginia and live in that area again, because of that traffic area, but that's where I was for so many years. And I just remember going, wow, like, I'm free. And that started my passion around the whole, if I can feel free after getting fired and being released. Now, I wasn't ready. I mean, how many of you in month like two is like, I can do this business. Let's go. You're not ready 2 months into anything like that, right? So I was like, I wanted my security, but when security was lifted up and removed, like I was literally escorted out like a criminal, even though I didn't do anything criminal. And I was like, what? Why do I feel so good about this? Because there was this freedom that I had already seen the possibility. And that's why I want to talk to you guys about today. What was possible for me. I'd already been to like around people that have been creating their own business and I always wanted to be a business owner. I don't know about you, but every time I was in corporate America, I like owned what I was running. Like I treated it like it was Jackie's place. Right. And like I walked and people would literally like they would create pictures and superimpose Jackie's place over Starbucks and over Potbelly's name, because I always called it like, no, man, this is mine. I own it. And I'm going to treat it like I own it. So I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. So when I talk about ambitious professionals, I just want to make sure like that somebody in careers and in businesses, and most of the people that are in careers, when I work with them, they move into their own businesses because they're meant to be doing more than what they've been doing, and they know it, and they're feeling that like they've already got the success and the money, and they still have the life they desire. And so what that has morphed into in this world after I like took the leap and didn't make money for a year and was like, what am I doing? That, that first year of business is like money's going out and that's going up and money's going out, and you're like, ah. And then something clicked, because I was awakened to, I have a 3-pillar process of awakening, empowering, and owning who you are, so that life can get really easy and you can step into what you're meant to be doing. And the journey, there was September 2019. I remember being like, I'm doing all the things to my coach. I had a one-on-one coach. And I think that's like the biggest shift in really moving you from like faster, working in that way. And I remember going, I'm doing all the things. I've got stuff scheduled everywhere, just like in the restaurant industry. And she's like, yeah. But are you making offers? And I was like talking to everybody, and I was making, so only 3 things we got to do in this business. That's tell people what you do, meet people, tell people what you do, and make offers. You meet people through networking, tell them what you do, and make offers. But if you don't make offers, you can't make money. Learn that 9 months into my business. So fast forward that, leaning back, trusting, making offers, and knowing that I don't have to hustle and grind to make it happen. That my coach asked me that day, she was like, you know what? We're going to do less. Anytime someone's to schedule on your calendar, you're going to schedule them 3 months out. And I was like, what if I miss out on the money and the blah, blah, blah? And what if they're the client I need? Because I was not making any at the time. And I lessened my schedule month to month to month. And I ended up making 3,000, 5,000, and 6,000 those next 3 months, when I went from like 500 a month. And what that was about the awakening and the empowering and the trusting. So when I tell you that I want to help people step into that time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, it has been a journey where I've always wanted to create that. I just didn't know how. And then I found the vehicle to do it. And now I'm crazy passionate about doing it. So one of the biggest things that kick off like anything in life, whatever you're doing. And I loved hearing all of your stories on how you, like when you guys were telling like what you do and why you do it. And like, by the way, I'm a Young Living, like Oil, doTERRA, like those businesses, big time fan of it. Totally like getting super clean in the RV now, which if you told me 5 years ago, I'd be using all natural deodorant, I would have laughed at you. But now it's like all the natural stuff, Ashley, let me tell you, I'm all giddy about it and I feel amazing. When you were talking about Arbonne, like one of the very first coaches that I met was Arbonne, and I love I wish I could do all the companies. I wouldn't have anything left if I did all the companies, but I'm a big fan of that. And the energy of like Wesley, and I mean, I just can go by all of you guys. But when the beginning, before you started all of this, was it hard to vision what it is you truly wanted when you were stuck in something, right? You're shaking your head, Monica, because I remember when they first asked me, they were like, what's your vision, Jackie? What do you want? And I was like, I want to pay the bills. Like, I want to like just, just kind of make sure that like I maintain. And that's what I did my whole life. I was very much a survival person. I had fun and I did some cool stuff, and I traveled the country with the restaurants that I worked with. But I truly, truly didn't understand what it was like to really love me and own me in the process. and honor what it is that I really wanted, because I didn't know what I wanted. So one of them decides to go there, or in any working with me at anything I do, whether it's my free master classes or any of my groups, is to awaken that vision. That vision is the biggest part, that if our brain doesn't function on the unknown, if it doesn't know like really what it is that you desire as if it's true today, it will not function for you and help you get to where you want to go. It's going to always focus on what it is that you currently did to get to where you are today. So we got to get into that imagination, that childlike way, the like we were just talking on my mastermind call last night about like, find a swing set and start swinging in a swing set so you can feel the freedom of the air blowing through your hair. If you don't have hair, that's fine too. But to feel like, right, the joy of because we were fearless as a child, man. Like I made the best mud pies and I was like a choreographer. I could dance, I could sing. I could not tell you I do that very nicely now, but like I could do anything. And I was a teacher. I'd set up classrooms and I was fearless and I didn't care what people thought and I went for it. And then all of a sudden like life happens, right? And so it shuts down. And I want to say everything that we need, you've probably heard the saying before, is already inside of us. So everything we need is inside of us, but we just got to wake it up. We got to wake her or him up and let her come back out to play and get into what's possible, because everything that, like I said, everything that you've thought of in the past is created where you are today. And that's amazing. But if we want to go somewhere different in the future, we got to think differently. We got to be differently. We got to decide differently. But you can't do that unless you step into that vision. I'm not just talking about a vision board either. Like that's really cool. That helps as a step. But I'm talking about like this, like really speaking into, I do this exercise and I'll share it with you guys when I do the next free class to do this, where we actually speak into our vision from a done place. So we're talking as if everything that we wanted 1, 2, 3 years from now that we want is already done. So we're on each other's stages. We're in each other's like massive groups and speaking for each other, and we're doing all these, we're traveling to Italy, we're doing retreats all over the world, and from a done place, like it's already done. So see where they are, like where they were when they walked in the door, and see how free they felt when they left to run the business that they desire to run, like really run, like not just like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know how we play that game sometimes? No, when they left Cozumel, they were all in and they were on fire, and they sold out programs and they did all the things, and we'd speak into it from a done place. So Cozumel
and they turned themselves around.
Yep. Hokey pokey, you're right. They had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No, both feet are in. And I push people off the ledge, to be honest. So I push you off the cliff in Cozumel. So
Queen of the hill.
So one of the
we're just gonna call that exercise cliff jumping. It's okay, friends. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really gone. I haven't gone cliff. I've done cenotes jumping, but I haven't done cliff jumping yet. So we might have to do that. I'm about adventure too. My retreats are called the Freedom and Adventure Retreats, because I always add one adventure in there. And some of the ladies that join my retreats are like, "Okay, Jackie, I don't do heights," and I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, we're doing it." Like, and I don't do, and I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's gonna happen." Like, I don't ride horses. I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's happening." So I'm about doing things to get you out of your comfort zone. Awakening the vision is something that's not super comfortable for people that have been told that it's scary. You could fail. It doesn't quite work. Be careful, be safe. You won't belong, because love, safety, and belonging is the foundation of everything. And if our brain doesn't believe it's safe, loved, or belong, it will not do it. It's like, no, that's not safe. So I have the chat covered, and I just realized I'm probably missing some amazing. Don't forget to post all this in the Facebook Live. Oh yeah, outside your comfort zone is where all the good stuff is. Yes, all the goodies are on the other side. That's what I say when I tell them to like do the adventure too. I'm like, all the goodies are on the other side of doing this adventure. So come with me and do it. So we'll see. So that's the first part. The second part is, once you've awakened the vision, there's this thing about empowering through self-love, self-actualization, self-care. We hear about all that stuff, but I'm talking like boundaries, clear communication, getting rid of those old stories, empowering the new stories, and taking everything from this empowered place. And the last piece, because I know we are short on time, and plus I have to go run a free masterclass after this, is owning. This is my favorite part. My favorite part is owning you. and I know we don't wake up every morning and be like, I can't wait to own me. Like, that's really not the words we use, but I want you to feel what it would be like to fully and unapologetically 100%. And I'm probably preaching to the choir here because I've seen some really cool personalities here that do own who they are. Trust me. I know that. I can see it. I've only met you for a few minutes and I can tell, but you have unapologetically who you are. You show up. You don't have those stories of like, what people think. Your story is, if I don't share, people are dying. If I don't share my magic, people are not living the life they desire. If I don't share my magic, people are not getting the clients and the income to support their family. If Nas doesn't get the client thing done and like out there for people, and if Santa doesn't show up, well, then the world is, I don't even know. Like, come on now. So, and yeah, I could just go on and on. So when it comes to taking radical responsibility for everything in your life, like that you can control, releasing everything that you can control, fully showing up authentically yourself, and just owning like everything. And it's funny because I'm pretty bold and I'm pretty like out there, and I'm straight up, like, what you see is what you get. Like, literally the 5 foot girl is the same. Like, people say I take you out of Facebook, so Facebook friend me and you'll see my whole life is on there. It's my digital diary, my travels, everything. You can take me out of there and put me back in, and I'm the same exact person. There's never going to be something different. And yet I know I am nowhere near how bold, courageous, and brave I can be. I am just touching the tip of just touching the iceberg. I'm not just, because I know how much more is in me. And there's still this little, like, yeah, like the little bit, like the little creepy voice is like, well, is that too bold? Well, I decided that I'm done. I'm done and pulling back on anything. Right, Amber? So we're doing that with trips like Cozumel, and I run a mastermind that my mastermind people are all people that are in my retreats, that are going to my retreats, because I believe that the community and stuff. And so, and by the way, community like this is so important. So Amber, thank you. And I will, now that I understand what you do, so you're so new to each other, I will send more people to you guys and get more people into this group, because community, no matter what form or fashion, is the biggest part that helped me outside of one-on-one coaching. The community support, those two things together, like, helped catapult what I'd never dreamed of building, and doing it in a very short period of time. So I tell you today, it's time to awaken, empower, and own who you are. I don't know if cussing's allowed, so I'm just going to hold my jersey back for a minute. But once I know it's allowed, then of course that mouth will go, because I don't know really what professional really is, in my opinion. So
Santa gives hugs all the time.
Yeah, right. As long as I stay in good graces with Santa. I mean, see, so when you grow up in Jersey, a cuss word's a term of endearment. It's like you're
Can
like,
confirm.
right. And I don't dump it out all the time, but when I get passionate, those come out of my mouth when I'm so passionate, and I want people just to never, ever, ever hold back where they're meant to go. And all of a sudden, that's where they'll start to fly out. Because in Jersey, we were like, you're awesome, you're amazing, like, and you use these words, and it'd be like second nature. I don't know, it's really weird. But anyway, that's who I am. Yeah, that's the Southern way, right? Bless your heart. I do have, and that's why in about 5 minutes I'm going to have to dip out, but I do have a free masterclass starting in 15 minutes where I talk more deeper about the awakening, the leader within. And a lot of when I support people is all about leading people into their leadership, personal leadership, and the leadership of others. So that's a big portion of my business. And so if you're bored in 15 minutes, you want to come join, feel free to join. If you sign up with that link, you'll get the recording. So you have to be live. If you want to just check out kind of what I'm about and what I'm really talking about, it'll be a whole 60 to 90 minutes about that. And then if you want to connect and actually hang out outside of this group, there's my connect chat link. I love getting to know people because I really want to know, like, how can we support each other? And I just like new friends. So when I'm in, by the way, guys, thank you, Amber, so much for letting me pop in. And now I can actually start attending as a actual attendee. Regular. I'm no longer be a newbie.
There you go.
Yes.
We'll include you in the group.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I feel
He's
welcome.
all right.
All right. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Sending all the love. and I
Oh.
will see you guys when I see you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Jackie.